What's going on, everyone? Christian Hernandez here in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. Mardi Gras starts in a month, but the Super Bowl party starts here right now. I'm here with Fox Sports' Rod Conti. Rod, how you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing good. Hey, I'm in the center of Bourbon Street getting ready for a party. Where else are you going to be?
Exactly. The studio set where we're standing right now, the demo field will be here. You guys have a lot of cool stuff. You'll have, a studio on a float. But before we get there, let's take us back to the planning phases.
All right.
When you chose this spot, it had to be on Bourbon Street, right? Why was the reasoning for it and continuing to plan here?
I think every show that ever comes to New Orleans wants to do a show on Bourbon Street. Right. There's a reason it hasn't been done before, and you can see it. It's an eclectic, moving, living thing down here. So putting anything structural or anything for any amount of time that gets in the way of that has just proved to be difficult, if not impossible.
Right.
So we like impossible at Fox, right? So they say that, and the challenge was ours. It's not the first time I looked at it. It's probably the third time I looked at it. We worked with our president, and Brad Zager, set the challenge for it. He says, hey, I just need a desk in the middle of the street. Normally we're building huge sets that Fox is known for. So this is quite the departure on that. But when he sort of aimed it there, there's a lot that comes to that, right? There's TV cameras, there's activity. What happens if it rains, So there's where do you put lighting? Right. So instead of building a big set, we were using Bourbon Street as this set. So we sort of had to look at it in the opposite way. The first thing is just safety and security of like moving things around these streets that are ever moving with people. We have to keep EMS and police activity in here. But I went and thought about what can I do that's just sort of moving and fitting for this city. And I was like, I need something like a float,
Right,
what city's better for a float than this one here? So that's what we did. We decided to start with a float, not a big departure, what New Orleans does, just a couple of weeks after us.
Yeah.
And built on, and we looked at the street corners, and we found one that would not only house that, but also all of our studio shows.
Right.
So FS1's doing 6 shows, between the 2 bars here.
Right.
In the interns of those shows, internally in those shows.
Right.
And then Sunday we come out here, smack in the dab of this cross street, under the 4 balconies of St. Peter and Bourbon Street.
Sure.
And we're going to bring, the world's biggest game to the world's biggest party city.
From the tech side of things, obviously, things will be produced at the stadium in a truck. You can't bring a truck on here because it's, obviously pedestrian.
Everything's running out of the truck at the stadium itself.
Yeah.
We have an excellent fly pack kit that's built in the building. Like you said, there's not a lot of room for TV trucks, and we barely squeeze a generator in here.
Sure.
We also have, we're working around vendors and people that don't want that sitting in the world.
Sure.
And we're very considerate of that too. We don't want to come in and take over a block or shut down a block, and they don't do that. So we had to find a way to integrate here, and that's what we did. So everything was sort of designed around that integration, including the setup.
Yeah. All right. So the footprint is streets Toulouse and Orleans, right? The kind of 2-block radius. You guys will have this cable cam kind of flying, a good chunk with fans around. But talk about, you mentioned on the interview we did before, but the set, the people on the set won't see it really set up until what time? Sunday morning?
Sunday morning at 4 a.m.
Right.
Now 4 a.m. is when you think it gets slow down here on Bourbon Street. Unfortunately, it stays busy.
Right.
The bars don't close at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and it's quite still an active scene. Though it's one that we're working with NOPD, it's a less travel time. At that point, at 4 in the morning, we're going to sweep the street, clean the street, carpet it all the way from Toulouse to Orleans. That'll be our Super Bowl Boulevard. We'll place nice fan activations that are all their Instagram stuff where you can see our guys. You can hear some classic music.
Sure.
And you can, of course, see Cletus up close here and take some pictures.
Yeah.
And then you get here and be a part of a show nestled in here where fans will be on parts of all these balconies and really celebrating.
Sure. Last question for you, Rod. And that idea of celebrating, the recent tragedy that happened here and 20 years since Katrina in the fall. There's a lot of things coming together, but the city is resilient, and I think you want to show that, right? It's
I think waking up on New Year's Eve and turning on the news and finding out seeing the tragedy that took place just a couple blocks from here was heartbreaking. Not only because we've been working so close with the New Orleans Police Department, 8th District down here for the year prior, but just knowing how them and the people of New Orleans and the 14 people that passed away in that event happened, how we were going to continue to do a show here.
Right.
A couple days after the event, we were down here, and luckily the Fox Sports execs, as well as the city itself, got behind us. That we need this more than ever. This is a resilient city. Terror is not going to beat this city. This is a city of hospitality and a city of known of like celebration, and more than ever it was important for them to show that wouldn't dampen this, and that we'll bring that spirit back. And I think all of us from Fox was really motivated to be the steward of that, and really bring the party back to where it belongs.
Where it belongs. Rod, you got a lot of more work to do, but thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Good seeing you, Rod.
Good
Best
to
of
see
luck
you.
on Sunday.
Come down Sunday. Let's have some fun.
Rod Conti with Fox Sports here on Bourbon Street. For more news like this with Rod, please head over to sportsvideo.org.